we solved that.
Oh.
Carl, going on holiday
Yeah.
to the Nile.
Oh.
But you didn't just get back?
Oh.
Oh.
Well, I guess we'll
just,
stick around.
I guess we'll
and-
just stick around. No, I think we'll go back and then go back to, it's probably cheaper.
Yeah, I'll just keep going to the Nile, I guess.
It's the place to be.
It's the place. Egypt's really popping in whatever year this is set.
1930, 7. So I think it's the place. I mean, you have to get a boat, so probably pretty long.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
It's a long journey, London to Nile, Nile to London.
Yeah.
But I guess we'll just keep
going,
hopping.
Keep going back and forth. Huh? My name's
Yeah.
Oscar.
My name's Carl. This is
is,
who would watch this.
A somber start.
It's an odd opening, wasn't it?
It's an odd opening.
I mean, we'll commit to it, but
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah. Here's the thing. We love it's intangible to this.
I know.
We'll commit
That
to
opening's fun if you've
we'll-
seen the
we'll
film.
commit to a sad hour and then we'll pop off, huh? Look at us now. We're
Should we
back.
be sad for the rest of the podcast?
I think 30 minutes we'd be sad and depressing, and then I'm gonna kill you. 30 minutes in, and then it's all me, baby.
I want pure camp. Give me pure camp, Oscar. If you murder me, do it, but do it with flair.
Welcome to Who Would Watch This, the podcast where we watch a film, chat about the film, and try and figure out who would watch
Today
this.
we're talking about Kenneth Branagh's Death on the Nile, which currently has a 62% on Rotten Tomatoes, a 6.2 on IMDb, and a 2.6 on Letterboxd. Oscar, what's the plot?
While on vacation on the Nile, Hercule Poirot must investigate the murder of a young heiress.
What was the one from last week? You know how it did
was-
odd
was-
phrasing?
It was like Poirot. It was like second person. I'll find it because it.
I'd love them to
it
just do
stuck
that
with me.
again.
Yeah. When the murder occurs on the train on which he's traveling, yeah, it'd be like when a murder occurs on the Nile on which he's on,
at.
he solves it.
In which he has previously solved a murder on that very year. He is involved in another.
We probably are. We'll explain the start, but hey, Carl, should we go back to last week before we'd seen the film and try and figure out who we thought we'd watch this?
Yes.
Carl, Death on the Nile, huh? You seen this one? You experienced this one?
No, haven't seen it. I'm. What can I say? I know stuff about champagne filling the Nile.
Yes, that is a pivotal part of the film.
I-
Dare I say the first 1 to 2 acts? Nile filling.
Very, very Nile. It's I assume, just opening bottles, pouring them in. Just
You
trying
wouldn't
to.
believe the admin of pouring champagne into the Nile takes up most of the film. It's a riveting one, though. Ugh. Black and white, it's gorgeous. It's Gal's best work.
I heard that they didn't cut, and Gal just said, "Go and fill it." And the cast and crew, unsure as to what to do, just bought a lot of champagne and filled the Nile. She
It's
said, "Keep going. It doesn't look murky enough."
on set. It was tenuous, but you look at the final result, and you know what? It pops off. Truly,
It looks Nile filled.
well, I mean, they
I
didn't get,
would
they-
hope.
It was more of a puddle of champagne at the bottom of the Nile, but ugh, that's what we get, huh?
I know. Apparently, there was a killer of camels. A lot of their natural drinking water
super
just
allergic.
killed.
Their humps were filled with champagne, so then people would slit them open and just suckle down on the
Would just
champagne.
shove it a skewer and it would just pop with champagne.
Oh yeah.
God, do you know a camel can store champagne in its hump for a year without it going off? They say the cork was based off a camel's hump.
Oh my god. Like a woman's breast, the camel's hump.
People
Put those
forget.
together, and that's hot champagne.
People forget babies were once addicted to champagne from the teat of a woman.
Oh yeah.
But now, I think people forget because it is the Champagne region that champagne occurred.
Yeah,
Camels
Egypt.
originated there.
Oh, yeah.
Moved their way down the Nile.
Oh, Carl, I feel like we're broken. What do you think? Do you want more Poirot?
Who's it? No. Who's it for? I mean, people, $300 million worth of people turned up for Murder on the Orient Express, and then none of them turned up for this when I
No.
looked at the box office, so I don't know. I mean, this came out during COVID, right?
Yeah.
Crazy Kenneth was like, I could bring people back.
He was chatting to Christopher Nolan. He was bragging about, I brought Tenet back. I've already brought Cinema back. He's like, you know what? I'm going to do my part.
Yeah. Yikes. Big yikes. Kenneth's like, I'll be in another one of you. I'll be in Oppenheimer if I can do
When's
another
he in
silly
Oppenheimer?
act. Sorry?
What's he in Oppenheimer?
He's that guy that like they sneak out of Germany or something, and they're like, "Good, you'll help us now," and he's like, "No, I won't."
Oh, it's a crucial role, and he nails it. Is he his new Michael Caine? Where's Michael Caine in Oppenheimer?
I wish Michael Caine was in Oppenheimer. I would love it if there is a reveal that
He's the bomb.
Cillian Murphy is Michael Caine.
Oh, it's huge.
Wouldn't that be crazy? Because I've never seen the two of them in the same room.
No, you haven't. Now, I mean, does Scarecrow do it? No.
No.
Let's
They're
get
both
back
in
to-
Peaky
let's
Blinders.
Finish, let's finish this. Okay, who do you think's gonna watch it?
Who's
Tell me
gonna
now.
watch it?
Yeah.
You on a plane.
Oh.
It's just this. I assume is for people on a plane who have already watched Glass Onion the same year.
I can't do more. There's got too much Ryan Johnson. Even a bit of Kenneth in my life.
I
huh?
know. They're like, too much Edward Norton. What? I want a mystery with less Edward Norton.
Yeah.
They pick this.
And they freaked out because they found out Knives Out 1 was out. They went, damn.
No.
All right. Hour of Gal. I'm going to take yours too. Let's finish this.
What are you saying?
Plane.
Oh,
a
a plane?
A train.
A train.
Yeah.
It is a good. Yeah. How ironic to not watch this on a boat.
Yeah.
But it's a train film.
Well, it's like those films about, like, you know, you're not going to show a plane crash on a plane, you know, because that's wrong.
You're not going to show. Yeah.
You're not going to show a murder on a boat. That's just distasteful, you know?
Crazy would have been trying to watch Murder on the Orient Express on a train, and the crew are just like, no, we've only got Death on the Nile.
We're going to Death of the Nile.
You go
Take
on a
that
fucking
shit on a boat and
go
you
on a
can-
cruise if
Yeah.
you want to watch Murder on the Orient Express.
I want him to do a plane film. Maybe Murder in Venice is set on a plane, and then we've just got a beautiful trilogy that you can't watch on the allocated transport. That's a good.
They're just getting bigger because you
Yeah.
can't watch a Haunting in Venice. They've just cut that out. Where I sternly hop over to Greece and then you can switch on a Haunting in
Who
Venice.
would watch this? People in Venice who are angry. It's like supply and demand. It's like, well, fuck you, I'm gonna watch it. People in Venice who've gone over to Greece. That's who I think would watch it.
No.
I think we nailed that.
I hear he's making one called like Killing on a Earth. Can only view it on Mars.
Good stuff. huh?
Musk has bought it. That's what the astronauts are going to
He's
watch on their
ruined
way
it.
over.
He's ruined it.
He put himself in it. He said, Kenneth, we'll do this, and I'll put it on a space station, but you gotta let me be in
Then
it.
you couldn't watch it on a space station. That's the problem.
Oh, no,
Yeah.
you'll watch that in Venice.
Oh yeah.
Oscar, do you want to explain the intro, or do you want to
Yeah.
just leave that?
I think no. I want to stand by that because at the end of Orient Express, telegram came, was like, "There's been a death on the Nile." We start this film. Kenneth's in London, and he's like, "Ugh, I just got." But there's one line. I mean, we'll get into the actual intro, but there's one line that's like, "Hey, I just finished that case in Egypt. That's all done. I won't need to go back for Egypt for a while."
It's clearly ADR'd by someone not saying it, going, "Congrats on solving that mystery on the Nile." And he goes, "Oui."
It's crazy. He never brings up, "I was just here."
Crazy, he's like, how could this? He pulls a Die Hard 2, and
Yeah.
he's like, two murders on the Nile within 6 weeks of each other. Who would have seen it coming?
Carl, but let's get into the real intro of Death on the Nile.
This is a whole podcast
Yeah.
we could do. I'm half from being very hungover when we did Murder on the Orient Express.
Yes.
That movie was so dull, so dully directed. I mean, this movie is just so bright.
Yeah.
The entire fucking less cozy for sure, but this opening is so juicy to talk about. This is some of the most intensive plot-filled stupidity I've ever. Poor Agatha Christie must be rolling in her grave. I assume her estate watched this opening and said, "If you're doing a third one, you're not getting a famous mystery. You're getting the fucking Halloween
You're
party.
getting the scrap paper. She sometimes jotted down ideas.
Here, this one's about a
knife with
haunting.
guns. I don't know. There's a ghost. That's the real killer.
This is her original Terminator script.
We're in
We're black and white.
black and white. I'll give the film the credit. I think they've definitely gone, we're gonna shoot this in black and white.
This is nicer black and white than
Yes.
last week for sure.
It's
for sure.
There's finally some like tasteful shots. It's nice contrast. However, the problem is it's Poirot in World War One.
Oh, it's so funny, but you know for a fact, you absolutely know for a fact that there's just been days where it's like Christopher Nolan has he was like shooting Dunkirk, and then they watched like 1917, and Kenneth Branagh's just like shooting heroin, and it's like, "Oh, I could do a 1917 in a Dunkirk. If only they gave me a goddamn budget and just weaved it into the beginning of this."
It's crazy. It's crazy that he was like, "This is a death on the Nile. I'm gonna start with 10 minutes of World War II.
This is-
essentially trench warfare."
How expensive is this movie? This is like a 90 million. Yeah. That's 20
the
mil.
45 million.
Cut
that's
it.
an extra. He's burnt it all in the
Fucking
first 10
cut
minutes.
it. He did it just being like, "I'm as good as the others," right? This opening of him at war is just begging you to forget he directed Artemis Fowl.
Oh, yeah.
Just fucking begging you to forget. And I'll never forget. Never, Kenneth.
It's our first one.
Oh.
It's okay. In fairness to the film, it's odd. Sometimes the directing's quite good. Some of the cinematography is quite good.
Yeah, I think he's stepped it up. I think he does pretty passable direction in that Murder on the Orient
Yes.
Express one. I think he's doing a better job here.
Yes.
I've never loved him as a director.
No.
But I think he's
What, you don't like Thor's directing?
big.
People forget Thor. Is he just making a lot of money off that Thor? Soon.
Maybe. Oh,
Yeah.
He's probably getting good residuals, right?
Yeah.
But, I mean, his Hamlet's really good. And I
That's
think
the
he
thing.
directed that. He's good with Shakespeare.
He's good with Shakespeare.
Yeah.
That's the thing. He's like a play man. You
Yeah.
know?
I guess Agatha Christie's not Shakespeare, I guess. I don't know. And I love Agatha. Have you ever seen Mousetrap?
I played the board game.
Very accurate.
Okay, cool.
I saw Mousetrap when I was in London because I love Agatha Christie, and I just thought that was the best. I fucking loved it.
No ending to the story. Just
I think people
Great
should
thing.
know. I really enjoyed Mousetrap, and they were like, I think it was one of those things that some place did it here in Sydney recently. It was like Mousetrap. We finally got it in Sydney for like 3 weeks, and I was like, no, you didn't. No, you didn't. Mousetrap's over there in London. It's like
talking down to them.
it.
You couldn't even begin to start even thinking about putting on a play like here. This is nothing.
There's-
The English theatre demands Mousetrap. Sydney does not.
Everything that works about Mousetrap is simply from its Britishness. It's so quaint. It's like pretends it's snowing outside. It's like a little radio under the corner being like, somebody's just murdered somebody in a hat and with a scarf, and then slowly all of the actors enter with a hat and a scarf, and you're like, any one of them could have done it. It's very charming. But in Australia, you're just like, I don't know, what is it, set in Jindabyne?
You walk out, it's hot, it's sweaty. Someone spat at you.
It's just Husey and Amanda being like, somebody shot him with a goddamn hat and a scarf! Oh no!
You're like, oh,
Oh.
the least thing from Quaint.
Oh,
I think this is
nothing
the
about this is brittle.
We should have done Agatha Christie. We're showing our elitism. Just like suddenly like, oh, hoity-toity. We love our little murder mystery from the BBC. Sue us.
The things I would give. Just to, if my job was to just look at archive things the BBC has made, that me and an English breakfast. Oh!
I went back. Remember how we were talking about I, Claudius last week?
Oh, yeah.
I went back and watched like the first episode on YouTube. It's pretty good. God, here's the thing. That's why I think Kenneth should be doing like plays and stuff, because that's what he's good at. I don't think he should be doing blockbusters films. It's odd.
It's weird he's trying to make Agatha Christie a blockbuster.
Yes.
On the other side, I wish there were more successful adaptations. On the other side of it, I love a studio spending $90 million on Agatha Christie's Death on the Nile, but there's also a piece of me being like, what are you fucking doing? Like, would you build that boat and then bought the Nile?
we spent
Like,
$250 million on Jonathan Creek, and it's gonna be such a performance. Honestly, it's gonna make $6 billion. James Cameron doesn't know what's happening.
they should just, keep doing it. Just keep doing, like, really old classic novels. Just like, where's our $300 million adaptation of Catcher in the Rye?
It's all like from the point of view, but we've actually CGI'd his thoughts into imagination. Oh, it's beautiful. Now, okay, we're back to World War II. It's stunning. It looks better.
It does. It looks better. They do this thing, and I have no idea why they've done it. The camera goes up to a man that turns around with Hercule Poirot's mustache, right?
Yes.
And you go, so that's Poirot.
Yes.
I was like, interesting that it's not just Kenneth.
Yeah.
But I was like, sure.
It's frustrating on Kenneth. Look at him.
Yeah.
Giving someone not the main part.
That's right. The camera almost redirects itself like they've made a mistake and is like, oh no, Kenneth's over here and he's looking at birds. And he's de-aged, he's younger, and without a mustache.
Yes.
And you go, that's odd. Where's his mustache? And why does that man have Poirot's mustache? Is that the only way mustaches grow during this time?
You've got to kill someone for the moustache. Now, his big thing is like, we'll get I don't know. He pretty much like, hey, there's some birds up there. They only fly when the wind's good, so we got to attack the Germans now. And they throw some gas. They kill the little Germans. And the guy's like, you're all right, Poirot. You shouldn't be a farmer. You should be a goddamn detective.
I would love it if they all got slaughtered and it was like they had a Poirot on their side too. They knew what we were doing. They saw the birds.
Another guy with an actual moustache, like, dude, they're doing the old bird trick. Cut them down. Be alert. They're gonna start walking towards us.
There's birds up there. They'll attack soon.
I would love it if they just went, man, those birds got spooked. They're probably walking towards us. Not even a Poirot, just a guy.
I know. Just crazy if Poirot was like, birds up there. There's a changing in the wind. The Colonel's like, shoot the birds.
Slight them down. If they see the birds are flying, we're fucked. Oh, they win the war. I think Poirot wins the war alone in this battle.
They're just like, congrats, we won World War II. Everything's sorted, Poirot. Then a bomb goes off. The Colonel walks into it. I don't know why he didn't see that there. Simply don't know why they see that.
Yeah.
Also, when you think about war, these people are celebrating murder. You know, they killed the other side.
No shit. No shit. Oh, you want to go? You know what? I just found out people die in war. That's not on.
I'm just saying.
I'm gonna say it right now. On
My
this podcast,
my opinion.
anti-war.
My opinion is nobody wins with
No
war.
shit. No shit.
Nobody wins with war. Debate me, Oscar.
We're all on the same page. We're all on the fucking same page. We all know war's bad.
Debate me on it.
It's such a nothing statement.
Throwing it out there. I'm simply.
You don't get praise for going. A lot of people
Simply
died.
not a
huh?
fan.
A lot of young men died, and for what? We know it's World War II.
I'll
We've done twice of them.
I'll accept your letters. I knew it was brave of me to come out as anti-war this late into the podcast, but
I'm pro-war now. I'm gonna fucking kill you.
I knew it. I knew it, and that's why I'm not afraid to say it.
Listen, guys, you gotta get some missiles. I'm just telling you. Oh, they do well.
Look at what we've done to countries, huh?
But look what
Mustard gas.
Look what we've taken, huh? Look at the riches. Isn't that kind of worth it, though? I think so.
I've never taken anything in my life.
I've taken land, and it felt good.
I know you have.
Oh god, the highs.
You've taken lives.
It
All I
feels
do
good.
is give. That's what I want
And
to
all I
throw
do
out
is
there.
take. It's a classic yin yang.
God, that's why we get along.
it's why-
We're like the three. It's like we're like the Three Stooges.
-1.
Minus
and one's
one.
really into war and one's not.
I love the idea that we're looking for a third stooge. We want one that's like, I see both sides.
Well, I'm Curly, you're Mo, and then we just need
Oh, you
fucking
nailed me
Larry.
with Mo. I was trying to think of the one that isn't Curly or Mo. What was
Yeah,
it?
Larry.
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 It needs a better name.
No, I think Larry encapsulates. Anyway, we're getting way off track and we're wasting the podcast.
Okay.
Poirot's blown up.
Yep.
He's got facial scars. This is when the film goes.
The reveal of his facial scars.
Yeah.
What a moment.
Yes.
They are ludicrously large. Like up to his ear.
Joker kind of slashing. That's what
Yeah,
you
it was.
feel.
And it's done as a reveal of like when Two-Face reveals
Yes.
what's happened to him. So I was like, okay, again, the title of the movie has not dropped.
No.
People need to know this. Because he's like, how could you ever love somebody as disfigured as me?
Yes.
And she says,
Without-
sincerely,
Without a hink of irony.
you'll grow a mustache. Death on the Nile! Boom! Directed by Kenneth Branagh. It just like a shank in prison.
Right into your face.
Oh.
What an odd way to start the film. We're now in Egypt. We're in London. We're in a jazz club, and Kenneth's not even gonna be like, that was a lot. Anyway, just me being, I want some little desserts.
I would have, instead of finding out why he's grown a mustache, I would have much rather found out why he loves a dessert.
Oh, God. I mean, I feel like we should know who this wife is. There's been 2 movies where we've been looking at this cracked photo, like, oh, if only I lost you. Anyway, back
I
to the
guarantee you they'll do something with it in Haunting in Venice,
Oh,
right?
yeah, well,
Because
she's a
it'll be like,
ghost.
oh, I reckon they will.
Yeah.
It seems to me that the valiantly, the screenwriter is attempting to give Poirot an arc.
Yes.
I don't think he needs an arc because he is the support to the mystery.
Yeah.
And that's what is elongating these movies, is him being like, Poirot needs an arc.
The start is always long. Like, the first one was like 40 minutes of Poirot getting to know Poirot. Didn't need. This first one starts with 20 minutes of war. And
Yeah.
then, like, another, like...
40 minutes
40
of just
minutes
like,
of,
let's
like-
get to know everyone.
Yeah, which is just not needed.
Yeah, like I think what's really good about I hate talking about them so much on these two podcasts.
Yeah.
But I think a really good example is the fact that the character arcs are given to the supporting cast in those Knives Out movies.
Yes.
Right? Daniel Craig does not have an arc in either
but
of those movies.
But he assists the
Yes,
arcs,
he assists
which
the
is
arc.
good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But because here's the thing is they don't go to the effort of giving the other characters an arc. Because they've given Poirot an arc.
Yes.
But it feels like nobody else has grown from this murder.
No. And if anything, they're just sort of like set dressing, essentially. Okay, cool. Let's go through it. We get into this jazz club. Pretty much we're introduced to Armie Hammer and Emma McKay. Again, I'm not learning their names. I feel like this film even knows like they're the actors. We also get introduced to Gal Gadot. She's the hot belle of the ball. And
Yeah.
then we get introduced to, I can't think of the jazz singer.
Oh, Letitia Wright and her
And
mum?
her mum,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah. Look, it's odd. This is one of the things that's so odd is we were told at the end of the last movie, he was going to the Nile.
Yes.
Almost like they were shocked they got to adapt it.
Mm.
But they would have known that he needs to be there for when the murder happens,
Yeah, he
right?
hasn't started off, there's not been a Death on the Nile, he goes
Yeah.
over there.
Yeah.
So it's an odd choice. I'm sure they read the book.
Yeah.
Maybe they just didn't read the Death on the Nile. I was like, that'll do.
I think
End
they-
note.
Because it's odd that they have to go out. They've made an odd decision to say these movies happen through the eyes of Poirot.
Yeah.
When he would always just rock up in the middle of the mystery. Because at the beginning of this book, I would assume it's simply this like jazz club,
Yeah.
right? And you would meet most of the characters here.
Yes.
But because we have to see it from his point of view, he goes to this club. And then we jump ahead 6 weeks and then meet the rest of the suspects, and then they go on the Nile.
Yeah.
It's between the war happening and this happening, the movie has to keep jump starting itself to like get them onto the boat.
Yes.
It's really odd.
Well, it's odd as well, because he goes to Egypt, he meets Block and his mum again.
The fact that Bok is back.
What a huge revelation.
Wow.
Yeah.
To imagine finding out you were used as a side character
Yeah.
in Murder on the Orient Express, and you were being brought back for Death on the Nile, and Poirot's going to run into you by accident, and you'll be flying a kite on the pyramids, and not convincingly either.
No, it's an odd... This film has gone down... I feel like Death on the Nile had, like, the internals of the train and then just odd CGI, whereas this film's gone, right, we can get some of the banks of the Nile pretty nice. The rest, CGI. So it keeps flipping... I don't mind if you sort of have just one for the whole film, but they keep flipping it between it, like, during shots.
Yeah.
Which
And you
just
keep on
takes
going,
it-
yucky.
Oh.
I do want to bring up. So I think let's just spoil the twist because I actually want to talk about.
Yes, I think so. Let's
Yep.
yeah.
So I hadn't seen this before, right? So the first interaction of Armie Hammer and Gal is really odd,
Yes.
and I think that immediately clues you in as to who the killer is.
Yes. Because essentially Armie Hammer and Emma McKay are like,
Together,
they've
newlyweds or
they've
engaged?
proposed. He's engaged.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then he has a sexy dance with Gal.
Yes.
And
Emma McKay gives him a look
Yeah.
of sort of like, you better not cheat, but also like,
maybe cheat.
maybe cheat.
So it's odd. It was just something where you go, they've definitely played their hand, like very intensely.
Yes.
But it's so their plan always hinged on him meeting Gal and Gal falling for him.
Yes.
But there's nothing around their contingency of if she doesn't fall for him.
It's an odd choice.
Yeah.
I don't know if the book makes a bit more sense because constantly throughout the film he's going, listen, I'm poor, pretty ugly, and I wouldn't fuck me. I'm a shit in bed. I've got a small cock, but you fell in love with me, gal.
I know, and
Thanks.
you go, okay, so he's in it for the money.
Yeah.
Like, it's so clear. There's no way he's
All
not the killer.
films Are, like everyone's like small chat cat. It's just either you in love or you care about money, and that's anyone cares about this world.
Yeah, just odd. It's just odd. They very much play their hand, but their interactions are so intent. Of like, they want you to make sure you know he's the killer.
Oh yeah.
Almost like they're using Emma McKay's reveal. Is it Emma McKay?
Yeah.
Yeah. Is like, oh, you thought it was all Army, but there's a second killer.
Yes.
So, you know.
Which sometimes works. I like when, like, I feel like this film, like, there's an obvious, there's an obvious answer. I want to know how they did it. The answer, the first time I watched, just frustrated me.
Yeah.
But hey. And then you can do a second twist, which I think revelates everything. But this film, I don't know, it doesn't really, I don't love it.
I think what's probably also, again, I don't really know in terms of like pop culture and stuff, but it's like, I think Murder on the Orient Express is a very famous twist.
Yeah.
And so it's very hard to avoid
Mm-hmm.
the ending of that movie. And then I would say what is potentially very special and famous about this one, I don't know when it came out, but I would like to warrant a guess and say maybe it was really, really threw people that there were two killers.
Yes.
But that's been used a lot since then. Like Scream sort of famously used
Yeah.
two killers.
They ganked it from Agatha Christie.
Absolutely.
Yeah, Wes Craven was like, Death on the Nile, how about we set this in a small house in America? That's kind of the boat of the Nile.
That is. The so I think it's like these going back and doing these movies, it's almost like how they went back and did like John Carter on Mars.
Yeah.
And it's like, I get that you were the first, but everything's taken inspo from you that you feel really
Dated
now.
and the point that it's like, what's the point here?
Yeah, absolutely.
But then the film also then has the goal to be like, let's restart this 3 times. Let's keep introducing the characters. And where are we at to? I feel like let's just get to because essentially I never know how Poirot ends up like in these situations.
Neither.
So I think Boak is somehow invited to their honeymoon with Gal Gadot and Armie Hammer. He's broken up with Emma, and now Gal and Armie are married.
Yep.
Emma keeps stalking.
It's like a big reveal.
Yes.
You know, the fact that Emma keeps stalking them is such a tip off.
Maybe it's the fault of the character. Maybe it's the fault of the film. Poirot's like, okay, Gal and Armie go, hey, Poirot, we want you to investigate her because she's been a stalker. And he's like, ugh, I don't want to. I'm on holiday. He has a casual conversation with Emma. He's like, so they want me to, like, make sure you're cool. And she's like, I've got a gun. I'm going to shoot her. Thoughts on that? Poirot, he's like, ugh, now I'm being fucking dragged into this shit. Why would she allude that she has a gun?
I have no idea.
Yeah.
Almost, I guess.
Well, it's kind of like a misdirect, but for the audience, not for the character.
Well, it's like, I think you're like, oh, it's so obviously her.
That's what I'm saying.
That you're like, yeah. But I mean, they're setting up the fact that she has a gun for when she shoots Armie Hammer, right?
I don't mind that. I just think it should be a better one than her telling the detective, hey, I've got a gun,
Yeah.
I want to shoot her.
She
That's my motive.
Takes it and is like, it's a Glock 90. It'll shoot a ferret.
It'll
like,
blow your brains out. Let
Yeah.
me tell you, right, it's got, wait, hold
Yeah.
it, Poirot, but don't hold it. My fingerprints are on that.
It starts a fun trend that as he interviews everybody else, they all go, I've got a gun, but it's bigger.
Yeah.
Like, they're like, oh, I've got one, but it's a machine gun. And it shoots 40 rounds a second.
This
So
gun
it wouldn't have been
shoots
me.
An entire gun. That's like the gun.
This one's a gun. I brought a grenade launcher on this boat.
I just have a loose bomb, you know? A cartoon bomb. Big black thing with a bit of string hanging out.
I just got a pocket full of bullets. Just scatters them on the table. You gotta go somewhere prepared. I knew someone would bring a gun.
Yeah, look at this crowd. They've
Yeah.
got guns. They don't have bullets, though, don't you? Got
Yeah.
a pocket full of those.
The singers are like, look at this saxophone. Turns into a gun. Just restructures it. Everybody's got a gun here.
It's a commentary on, not America, but Egypt in the 1930s. Big guns. stuff over
Big
here.
gun.
Yeah.
Jennifer Saunders is like, Dawn French is my gun. Just takes off her arm and clocks it like...
Okay, I feel like in the last one we didn't really get like much of a character introduction. It feels like Kenneth has heard this podcast and taken notes on what we've criticized, and now
That's what I thought. That's exactly what I
Now
thought.
felt quite spitefully
Yeah.
doing all the things because I was like, I don't know any of these characters, and then Boak goes to Poirot, goes, listen, come here, I'm gonna just give you the rundown of all the characters. Right, Russell Brand, he hated Gal Gadot because they're exes. Right,
Why?
Saunders and French. She's a stepmom, she's a bitch, and she hates money. Who else we got? He's the cousin? You don't need to know about him. We've got, who else we got? We got the mum, my mum. We're not crazy, but are we? Thoughts on that?
I know it's like, and I will posit this: the only way this makes sense is yes, Kenneth's a fan of the pod. Yes, he owns a time machine. I reckon he would have jumped on board Artemis Fowl.
Oh, I would love it. He has like a Google search. It's like, someone reviewed my movie. Oh, lovely.
An hour and a half.
And he's been a lifelong fan ever since. He was like, man, are they using one mic for a podcast? I will be listening to 150 episodes weekly.
Are they in a basement? An echoey basement?
Yeah, so we get introduced to all the characters. We also got the jazz singer and Bwok's betrothed, the jazz singer's granddaughter.
I know it's pretty juicy.
all
There's definitely like a real element of sex in or raunchiness. I don't know, like it's a bit more
Raunchiness,
sexual.
Yeah, and they're like, love is the main thing.
Yeah, like I think
Love
they really
motivates
want to.
people.
Yes, yeah, they're absolutely going for that theme.
Which is like plot glue, because they're like, man, pretty crazy that some people would do this stuff. So we're just gonna say love drove him to do that.
Yeah. So they're like, and that's enough. There you go. That's more than enough.
So we've got a band of characters.
Mm.
They're gonna now board the boat.
Well, I just want to bring out. So why is everybody here?
Well,
so this is
that was my
Gal's
question.
honeymoon.
Yeah, it's odd. I don't know what they did in the 1930s, because even though like they answered who the characters are, like one's an ex, one's just a jazz singer. I think she was like, she's a pal. My cousin's here. That's odd for a honeymoon. I don't know why they're here. I don't know if the honeymoons are like, let's get everyone around. 'Cause I think they were meant to be doing a holiday in Egypt.
Yeah.
And maybe they were going to go off.
Did they all go for the wedding?
I don't think so.
Why is Poirot there?
I've got no idea. I think again, Bwok is sort of the wave that Poirot goes in. He's like, listen, I'll come. I'm on vacation.
It's
I guess-
fun. Bwok lost his job.
Yeah.
Like there was a murder on the Orient Express.
Yeah.
You could fuck off to Egypt.
My
sir.
dad was furious. He was like, what have you been doing? There was a murder and I didn't do much. I'll be honest. I let the murders go.
It was an assassin in the night, but really it was 11 people.
Yeah, so, you know, it happens, but it doesn't really that often. So I did lose my job, and now I'm trying to swindle my mum out of cash.
Also, look at this sick kite.
Papa got it for me.
I would love it if all through the movie he is flying that kite. Poirot, there's been another murder. And he's just like out on deck.
Whoa, fucking hell, it's got a bit of pull on it.
Whoa.
Damn kite.
I would love it if he created windsurfing. That's what happened in the background of this movie is he just creates like things.
That would be fun.
I know. I'd love it if he created the first silencer.
Oh, huge.
Wouldn't that be good?
Big blanket. Now, so Emma is following them.
Mm.
Poirot knows she has a gun, but apparently we all know she has a gun. So Gal and Armie Hammer are like, listen, we're all going to go on a boat. I don't think she can follow us onto the boat because it's a mode of transport.
Let's discuss how they reveal they're hopping on a boat.
Yeah.
Gal is 40 feet tall,
Yeah.
dressed as Cleopatra, and is like, hello all, get on the boat.
It's a choice, and dare I say, I think it works for the character. They've nailed it. It's an odd choice. It shouldn't happen, and yet it really nailed Gal.
I thought it's just Gal.
Yeah.
That was probably her audition.
She just had the suit ready, so she jumped up there. She does most of her auditions in that suit. How she got Wonder Woman?
Yeah, I mean, her audition for Cleopatra, she just sent to him,
Oh,
and he was
yeah.
like, "We'll weave that in, don't worry."
Well, got that. It's fine.
It was odd. I don't know if her character comes across as arrogant as doing that seems.
Yeah,
Like-
no. I feel like they could have played. I mean, bless Gal. She's Gal.
Okay, well, look, I'll throw out. I don't think Gal is like the worst actress or
No.
anything.
No, I feel like she got
Yeah.
a lot of hate for this. I think
Yeah.
the champagne line definitely did not do wonders.
Yeah, look, it doesn't help, but I think in context, the champagne line as a trailer snippet's bad because I think her performance is actually very like she's trying to do sort of like old movie star Scarlet
Yes.
sort of performance,
Yes.
like Hitchcock, Grace
Damsel.
Kelly,
Yeah,
stuff
that
like
sort of
that.
Yeah.
And it's like I don't know if she's succeeding at it, but she's definitely trying to do something
Doing
like that.
something, yes.
Yeah, and once you see her full performance, her line reading to me
Mm.
isn't as bad as "There's enough champagne to fill the Nile."
Well, I forgot that line of "There's enough champagne to fill the Nile" is like punctuated with a pop of champagne.
Yes, absolutely.
Which I think genuinely makes ties it all together. It's
Yep.
still, I love the
I
line.
know, and
really.
it's also like she's on the boat and her character is terrified of being killed at this
Yes.
stage. So she is trying to put on a facade.
Yeah.
So the line is so stupid and poorly read when it's a snippet.
Yeah.
In context, wasn't like awful.
No.
I celebrated though when they said it.
My God, it is such a pivotal moment.
Oh.
It brought me so much joy. It's why I watched the film in the first place. I was like, I gotta see how it fits in. Great stuff. Huh?
Oh, it was fantastic. I mean, it was crazy because I was like, if the trailer had the Cleopatra moment, the Cleopatra moment's way more bizarre and weird
Way
than
more
the
bizarre. I feel like the trailer would have done an okay job at it because, like, I guess I have to see that in context to see how that ties into the thing. It's crazier that without context, just she was getting it. It's essentially a sign to get on the boat. How did she organize that? That's good planning on her behalf. I know she has like servants and money, but that's a nightmare, you know?
Yeah, she's just like, I would love to get away from the stalker. Could we hop on a boat? Army's like, yep. And she's like, cool. I've got one way to reveal it, and that's it.
Okay, we're on the boat. Emma McKay is not there though.
Yeah, she's not there.
Yeah. This is a bit of a... I don't know. It felt like this in the last one. I was really upset. Like, not upset, but just like, this is getting boring. Like, it's a bland start. Essentially, they're on the boat now. We're kind of slightly learning the characters.
It is way more bland and sort of not that interesting, but I do appreciate the fact that, again, I think we're getting to know the cast more than we did last time.
Yes, fair enough.
So I do feel like by the
There's
time
little
the
things-
mystery rolls around, I was like, oh, I could foresee by the end of this movie, if they were like, Russell Brand's the killer, that would feel more warranted than finding
More
out William
justified.
Dafoe was the killer last time or something like that.
Well, I guess that's why they've got... It does feel like less characters, but I guess there are less characters, so
Yeah.
you can kind of feel them. However, I just think pacing-wise, it is a painful hour to watch.
Yeah, I would agree.
Yeah.
I also think they're doing this thing that I'm sure the book probably does well. The movie doesn't do a lot with it. I think they do a good job at tipping you off that if there are two killers, everyone's got like a pair. So it's like a mum and a son, or it's like Saunders and Dawn,
Yeah,
or it's
true.
like, so there's
And the doctor just chilling by himself. I guess the cousin?
yeah, doctor and cousin. I don't know, but it's like, I feel like maybe.
Match made in heaven.
Yeah.
No, but you are right. For all
Yeah,
the others,
I feel like they're like, oh, if you do latch on to like, oh, there's two killers, it does sort of come across as, everyone's sort of got somebody they could be
Yes.
working with.
Yeah.
So, that's, I guess, a thing. Anyway, so they hop off the boat. They go and investigate a temple.
Yeah.
There's a sandstorm. Somebody tries to push a rock onto them. I don't know why that's important.
No, I think it's a bit of a misdirect. I think it just like freaks out Gal. It does a couple things. Like Gal's freaked out that she's going to be murdered.
Yeah.
Doesn't do anything. She's
Yeah.
like, I'll have a snooze.
Yeah.
But I guess just sort of like, how did Emma McKay? I think it's more of a misdirect because like Emma McKay could not have done it because she was just on the boat.
Yeah. Like, I think.
The film's really trying to make sure you know Emma McKay can't do this.
Yeah.
But she can.
Yeah. It's so. There's also, this movie has a lot of dry humping.
A lot of dry humping. The first, I think that jazz thing at the start
Is so
yeah.
indulgent dry humping.
But it's like, it's not sexy. It's just sort of like kind of spinning around them while they hump. And it's an unpleasant thing, really.
He's loving it. He's eating 6 desserts, not 7, watching some people dry hump. He loves it.
Poor loves it.
Thinking about maybe having sex with a jazz singer's mum.
Yeah. But Bok in the temple's like, listen, Poirot, you gotta fuck the mum. And Poirot's like, no, I couldn't. You gotta fuck her daughter, though? Which is a weird thing to bounce back with.
Yeah.
I thought them 4 of them was a weird,
It was.
Yeah.
It was very like swingers.
Yeah.
But again, what happens on the Nile stays on
Well,
the
he's
Nile.
French, and I believe he's the most sexually active man I've ever seen.
Oh,
really.
absolutely.
Yeah.
That mustache going down on you, a match made
Oh
in
my
heaven.
god, it just grips your thighs. You can't get
Get
horror away
around
from
it.
you.
It's like if the Lorax went down on you.
Danny DeVito's voice between your thighs. My god, that's how you make a woman randy.
I know. I wish I had the pull of Danny DeVito. I simply don't.
You're kind of orange though, and you've got, and you love
am.
trees.
I'm
You know?
famously orange. I've like just got Mo vibes. What can I say?
Should we get to the halfway point? We've learned some.
Let's get to the
characters.
murder.
Let's go to the murder.
Gal dies.
Yes, but before Galba dies, Army Hammer is shot by M. McKay.
Oh yeah, huge.
Huge. This is like it's such a pivotal hour mark,
Yeah.
and I think a lot of people gone. Thank God Gal's got. I think genuinely the whole film ramps up now. It's like cool. We can actually have our fun.
And again, this was the same thing I think he fixed from one of the criticisms I had about Murder on the Orient Express is it didn't feel like when the murder occurs it's a real moment.
Yes.
But it's like, it's definitely way more exciting the night the murder happens.
Yes.
They're like, this is where everybody is, you know their locations. Way more intriguing. And then finding out she's died the next day, rather than just being like, and Johnny Depp was killed.
Johnny Depp dead, and then the reveal is sort of them shuffling around. This is
Yeah.
better. This is like it's manic.
Yeah.
Like you like, oh, well, those three are over there. The doctor's over here. Like Emma McKay is essentially shot Armie Hammer, so she's gone away with Dawn French.
Yeah.
Like Armie Hammer's with the doctor and like a cousin and everything. And it's like, well, no one really can get to, and Poirot's asleep.
Yeah.
The lazy fucker, huh?
I loved him being asleep. I'd forgotten he was drugged. So I was like, fucker just sleeps in a 3-piece suit.
I mean, he says he's on holiday. I don't think he's done a case. He keeps
Yeah.
resisting the case. I feel like that's Poirot's big thing is he loves a case.
He
And
does.
constantly he's like, oh, I'm tired. Can I not do a fucking case?
I
He
know.
wakes up. He's like, oh, someone's been fucking murdered. God damn it.
Do we also think a moustache would actually grow over that scarring?
No, I don't think so.
Yeah.
It is
The
such a-
scar was up to here. The
Yeah.
mustache only goes to the cheek.
Yeah.
So it should be a lot worse. I mean, when they reveal at the end...
It feels like such a knee-jerk response, this film, because I feel like people went, the murder's a bit lame, the pacing's weird, and the characters are odd, and that mustache is too fucking big. He's like, well, fuck you. he got a scar. I'm gonna cut down the characters, and here's a bit more fucking length.
It does
Just
feel
fuck
like
off.
that. He's like, this is the reason it's
Yeah,
big.
fuck
And
off.
It is like,
He's been reading like little articles like, well, this is how fuck off, essentially. And then he's been burned because 3 of them have been pretty much cancelled. He's like, God fucking damn it.
I got a pandemic hit.
Yeah.
So he's like, I guess nobody will watch this
Yeah.
then. And we can just go on Disney Plus and I'll just fuck myself. I'll go make Belfast. I think flat out, I'm just gonna say right now, from the moment the murder happens,
Yeah.
this movie's silly, stupid, and way more interesting.
Melodramatic.
It's
but, like, so
melodramatic.
fun.
It's
Yeah.
like, it is a way more involving, like, overproduced mystery than Murder on the Orient Express, which is
Yeah.
definitely trying harder
Yeah.
and is a better mystery, at least in book form, but as a movie, I think fails.
Yeah.
Second half of this is like, boom, we're gonna kill people. There's more mystery.
Yes.
Everybody's got an item that they might destroy. We're gonna drag the river. We're gonna set off flares. Like,
It's fun. It
Yeah.
paces up so much.
it does. The pacing just ramps right up.
Yes.
Like, him interviewing, all the locations are more interesting to
Well, I
interview.
felt like that. I felt the last movie was just like, here's 12 boring interviews, and I think this one's so much more elevated because every time he's in an interview, someone walks in and he starts sort of interrogating them, and it plays off it a bit more, and
Yeah.
then leads into the next interrogation a lot better than just him dotted around a train.
Every 5 minutes, somebody goes, a twist!
Yes.
Like, it's...
Each interrogation is like punctuated with something like, this is what I found out. I'm now gonna go back onto this lead,
Oh.
which is a lot better than the last one. Just like, so how do you know this guy? Oh, your third cousin's cool. I'll jot that down.
So we find out there's also a second murder.
Yes.
So somebody has their throat slit and is
Yeah.
dumped in the river. Their body gets trapped in, like, the turning of the,
The-
engine thing.
I feel like I know that word.
I don't know the
I
word.
wish I knew the
The
thing in
turn
Donkey Kong
time.
Jungle. You know that the propeller boat.
Yeah, propeller. Yeah.
Yeah.
She gets trapped in that, and they do like a POV. Thought that was fun.
Yeah.
I liked that.
Some of the shots are okay. Some of those choices okay. He still loves an aerial. He loves having a jib
he does. He just
above
loves
the
it.
characters
Yeah.
and then and underneath him.
Yeah, I'm sure
Unmotivated.
he is one day going to win an Oscar for having shot the first movie that only takes place as an aerial. You go, wow, I never saw a person's face unless they looked up.
Sometimes I was playing GTA 2 and I thought, wow, a bird's eye perspective, that really gets into the character's mind 50 feet higher than what they are.
Absolutely. You, the audience of The Sun, looking down on a murder.
Do you feel like God? I gave you that power. I am Kenneth.
I feel like if Kenneth had directed like Free Guy, would have all been an aerial. Or like Truman Show, one of those ones where he's
Yeah.
like, we're overhead watching,
Yeah.
you know? You're not Ed Helms, Ed Harris.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, so we get that second murder. Somebody's throat's been slit.
Yes.
Tensions
And
are
then this is
rising.
great, 'cause then now, like, again, tensions are rising, not for Poirot. He's like,
Yeah.
I've got my thing. But they're all kind of infighting and
yeah.
stuff. I mean, like, it still feels like there's characters, like, you kind of think, oh, maybe Russell Brand. But most of the characters, you're kind of like, I don't think we've seen you enough. Armie Hammer and still M. McKay are still, like,
Yeah,
we spent an
absolutely.
hour with
You're
you
never
guys.
like, oh, Dawn and Saunders are going to have killed him.
Yeah.
But I think it's missed an opportunity. They sort of really play on the fact that a lot of people are there for her money, for Gal's money.
Yes.
It doesn't feel like they've all lost a cash cow and are scrambling.
Yes.
You'd think it would be a lot more of like these socialites
I-
are feeding off her.
Yes. Which I imagine was like much more in the book. Like, it must be like they've all been cut ties. And I would have liked if they all were like left kind of penniless.
Yeah.
And that's the sort of thing.
Yeah.
Whereas this one, they're like, I think I'll be fine. I think really, does anyone really lose that much money for her?
Well, I have no idea.
I think most of them gain money,
Yeah.
actually.
Well, I mean, they keep on being like, sign this contract, it'll give me money. And
Yeah.
she's like, maybe not.
The cousin's a weird subplot.
Yeah.
Just like
But thrilling.
Oh, goddamn thrilling.
This is thrilling. He tries to drop a rock on them when
Yeah,
they
it's
dry hump.
Poirot does excuse him at the end. He's like, listen, I let the 12 pill go. What's 13, huh? Hop on out of here, buddy.
He's like, they ended up dead anyway, so who cares? Yep, so it turns out Poirot had a secret investigation as
Yes.
well. This is fun. He goes, Annette Bening, you hired me to investigate Bach.
As Brock's mum, yeah.
Yeah, so I did, and I'm going to tell you right now, she's great.
She's lovely.
She's a star.
Really nice.
Yeah.
And Annette Bennings, the mum of Brock, is sort of like, listen, Poirot, I know I paid you a lot of money, and I would take your words at fact. I still dislike her. At which point you're kind of like, why?
Yeah. You're like, I know it's this time, so maybe there's a reason.
Maybe she's pro-vaccine, huh? How about that, huh? I'll posit that.
Just, it was Annette Bening's choice to be like, I don't like her as an actress, so I'm not going to indulge the
choices,
character.
We're kind of in a pandemic. She kind of keeps pulling off her face mask and coughing and going, it's a COVID.
Kenneth just kept on going behind the scenes being like, the actors are improving a lot more than I'd like them to.
A lot more and a lot more topical COVID-related stuff.
Yeah.
It isn't working great for this 1930s piece.
Yeah, it's just like...
Gal keeps recording videos and asking people to be in a fucking thing. I won't sing, okay? I'm an actor, not a performer. I'm not a slut. I embody Hamlet.
I know,
didn't
she
sing.
sent that email being like, can you record this line? And Kenneth Branagh just went, oops, spam. Just,
It's crazy none
oopsies.
of these guys got caught up in that.
I think this might have been recorded pre-pandemic. I
Gotcha.
don't know.
Yeah.
But I would have loved Russell Brand being like, hey, can I have a rant? Kenneth Branagh was like, yeah, go for it. Mute his mic. Let's not get a boom on him.
Oh, yes. You do that, Russell.
You look like you'd be a fun actor, subdued.
His whole thing is like energy.
Yeah.
And Kev's like, what if you were quiet?
He does. He asks very easily, like, hey, Saunders and Dawn, don't do comedy.
Don't do comedy, which is crazy. They're such an iconic English duo, and they're just like, listen, you guys are lesbians, and that's all I've got
Yeah,
for
he's
you.
like-
That's my funny.
Yeah, it's just
Big
Kenneth
homophobe.
Branagh going, I always thought you guys had a thing going on in real life, so I'm just going to indulge it in this film. Don't be funny.
It's such an odd choice. I mean, go them. But yeah. Give me something,
Yeah.
give me a bit of comedy.
So anyway, after Letitia Wright finds out that Poirot's been spying on her, she walks down the stairs and goes, you know what I think of you? You're a little fucking freak! Like, right to his face. I was like, oh my god.
Listen, you got scars on your face? Good.
Yeah.
Your soul's corrupt, and I think that mustache is gay. And she's like, whoa, it's homophobic. There's lesbians on board. What are you doing there, buddy?
In the
luckily, a dead body breaks the tension.
Immediately, Bok is killed. Bok's like, hey, I saw the murders unfold. I tried to move the necklace. I felt worried. Kenneth's like, I accuse you of murder. You lied to my face. His line reading of you lied to my face
Yeah.
is so funny.
He dips in and out of the French accent. I feel like for the important stuff, he's like, all right, I'll do it in broken English. And then for like his little sacre bleu, he needs to he goes full French.
I never enjoy Kenneth's accent. Like, I don't think he can always 100% do an accent, but I find him enjoying having done an accent infectious. Like, he's always got a circ like, I'm British.
I
It's like I don't
end
do
of
this.
Every scene kind of ends with a wry smile. Like I just nailed that French accent, wasn't I? When I said "le pastry," it was like,
Yeah,
"Ooh, I nailed
I
that."
never did it. Give me a croup. Like and you're just like sometimes you're like I don't know what you're doing, but you're having fun, and I guess that's what matters. Like
Anyway, the stage is set. Bok's dead. We got the Gal's maid is dead, and we've got
And Gal's
dead. So there's 3 dead.
yeah.
I will say this: there is also 10 servants on the film. I think the film's kind of like they're all in white, so they're just in the background. There is 10 other suspects on this boat. Don't worry, they're in with Poirot. He shoots the gun in the air, and they all shut the doors. and
I
they're
would have
trapped.
loved to have seen him organize that.
Yeah.
Walking around, he's like, when you guys hear a gunshot, Lana, just like close that door.
Which is crazy after 3 murders have happened. He's like, listen, when you hear a gunshot, crazy he would admit he has a gun.
Yeah.
Crazy use it as a signal. That
Yeah.
seems distasteful,
Yeah.
you know?
When's one of these movies going to announce he's the killer? Huh?
Oh, I feel like Agatha Christie was like, I'm gonna. That would,
Maybe.
yeah, maybe.
Maybe
but
he
like-
did that with Miss Marple. Who knows how Miss Marple
Oh, she's a slut.
found
She'd
out, huh?
do it, wouldn't she?
She would do it. She
God.
loves a cup of tea and a kill. He shoots his gun. They all get locked down. He's like, "One of you's the killer."
Yeah.
And he's like, "I know exactly who it is," and then just announces who it is, and you
Yeah.
go, "No, yeah, fair."
It's
Armie Hammer.
I wasn't happy with. I don't know. When I first watched it, I was a bit more happy this time. Maybe because I just watched Murder on the Orient Express. I'm like, listen, it's a bit more. Essentially, Armie Hammer, when he got shot by M. McKay, that was a blank, baby. Okay. He then runs off, kills Gal, runs back down, shoots himself in the leg. That's his alibi.
I did enjoy. It definitely plays its hand, so you know it's them. But I
Yeah.
do enjoy how they got away with it.
Yeah.
Like I enjoyed all of that. So
I thought that was on the first time. I think it was just a knee jerk, like that sucked.
yeah,
But I was a bit more. At least it was a concrete. Like I feel like a Murder on the Orient Express. Like what was it? It was just we went into his cabin, stabbed him, and then
Yeah.
Poirot's like, "But you improvised." And then I think like one person. I can't remember what it was. It was
Well, it's
so
like-
unclear.
I
At least,
think
at least that's just like that's how they did it.
well, I think the the movie didn't really do it, but I think what's interesting about the mystery of Murder on the Orient Express is these killers having a tight knit plan on killing someone, and suddenly there's a detective staying on board that night. Like that's
But I don't think they play. Into
Yeah,
that.
they don't play into
no,
it.
No, they're not like
Yeah.
dancing around like trying to distract Poirot. It's
Yeah.
just we're just gonna kind of do it and
Yeah.
just hope he doesn't figure it out.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So anyway, who knows? They end up killing themselves.
Yes.
I'm not a huge fan of them doing this in just anything when they're
When the killers kill.
yeah,
themselves.
I'm just always like, okay, well that's just an easy. It's just like such a quick way to tie the knot to end the film. Like it's so quick to just be like, oh, we don't have to explain what happened to them or
Yeah.
have them taken away or blah blah blah. It's just like, and they died.
It's cut.
I don't know. I think it's maybe unfair for like Armie Hammy's character to have not been like, let's kill ourselves. And she's like, I'm just gonna take you with me.
Oh, it's
I was
crazy.
like, oh, okay.
I would have preferred it if he was like a bit resistant to it.
Yeah.
And that would have been fun because that kind of gets his comeuppance, you know?
I would have loved his character to have been shot. She's dying. He's still dying. And he's like, I didn't agree to this.
Oh my
Anyway,
God.
There's a doctor on board. I know you can help me. He's like, this crazy bitch.
Russell Crowe's just in the corner. He's got a mic. He's like, I might as well just end it here.
Yeah.
God damn it. He's ranting about, I don't know, some country. I don't want to know.
Oh, I don't know if there is a spin-off with Russell Brand going to South Africa,
They
but
really
it felt it.
They really punctuate. He's like, I'm going to go to Africa, so I'll see you there maybe, Kenneth.
He's like, I'm gonna go live with gorillas in the mist. That's right, it was me all along, Russell Brand. Imagine looking at this movie and being like, Russell will be good with a crowd. Give him the spin-off.
Oh, yes. Yes, Kenneth was like, listen, I love playing the main character, but when Russell really stepped on set, we were blown away. Also, he's the only one that has not been cancelled in this show, so he's kind of all we've got.
It's a shame none of them go, we're off to Venice.
Yeah.
Hey, Poirot, I see you in Venice. There's been a haunting.
They all kind of walk off. Bok's mother's pretty broken.
Oh, it's great. There are 5 bodies marched off the boat. I was like, holy shit, a lot of people died. in the film. And Poirot's like, another day on the
Kate,
sea.
well done. I deserve a holiday.
Where's my little desserts? I want another 6, not 7.
Powerful. Now the film pretty much ends, but then he goes back to the jazz club.
Yeah, he's
Right.
maybe interested in the jazz club singer.
Yeah,
so...
I wonder if this will. I hope they do the same thing. They retcon it just like with an ADR line. I grew my mustache back, and I did not fall. It did not work with her.
I know it's it's just odd. It never occurred to me his arc was he's holding on to his wife via mustache.
Yeah, it's an odd choice.
Yeah.
I'm keen for this arc to pay. Is it just him letting her go?
It was weird to go, my mustache is gone and I'm ready to date. and it ended. It was directed by Kenneth and I was like, yeah, I guess.
Was Kenneth going through some tough stuff?
I don't know. Yeah, I was like, there's a lot going on behind the scenes here. Yeah. How wacky.
How wacky.
What a
huh?
wacky film.
I mean, the first half worse, but the second half better.
Oh yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Like I definitely was way more. It's a shame you can pick the killer. Like I think if you couldn't pick the killer,
It's a shame it's a blockbuster because it must be just like a lot of producer notes. Like, you gotta make it a bit more like you gotta make it a bit more obvious, which
yeah.
is just like
like it's rated M or PG, so I'm sure it's just producers like a 14-year-old has to enjoy this.
yeah.
So I don't know why they're going to it, but they've got to
savant
enjoy
just
it.
going down, a 14-year-old going, listen, yes. When the Nile really is the landscape for murder.
Kenneth, you got so many new fans from Artemis Fowl that are of a young demo, and they did not respond well to Belfast. So you have to make sure they love this
gotta
film.
pick up the slack for the 13-year-old crowd. They're big on murder from the 1930s, you know? What happened with that mustache? You tell us?
They loved your Jack Ryan, but they hated your Thor. I don't know.
But they were mid on the Cinderella.
Mid.
He's an odd...
Yeah.
It feels like he's like a director for hire, but
He's
like,
a studio guy,
Yeah.
I think.
but then also like, I'm gonna do Hamlet.
Yeah. I guarantee, considering this movie did not make money,
Mm.
surely the only reason he got that Haunting in Venice one produced is because he won an
Belfast,
Oscar,
yeah.
right? They were like, go on, you've got carte blanche to
is
do
this
what you
his
want.
passion Does he love doing this?
I've got to tell you, it's probably fun, right? Like to film. Whether
That's
or not
very
it's
true.
good to, on the
That's
back
very
end,
true.
he's probably, I think he is having fun playing the character.
Yeah, like it's a hammy. Like I feel like he loves a little bit of Chamber of Secret. Like he likes a hammy. I'm sure like theater's quite
Yeah.
big. So I think on like to do this kind of works. Maybe
He's sort of like an actor's actor of
Yeah.
like he like loves theatrics, I
Yeah.
reckon. And I mean, I think the movie's bogged down by its use of CGI, but they obviously built that boat.
yeah.
You know, like the sets are grand.
They have one tracking shot of Gal. It was just across the thing. Not that impressive, but it's like, well, good for
Yeah,
you
it was
guys,
like,
huh?
but I think he loves the set. He loves. I'm sure he loves a lot of the aspects of what Christopher Nolan loves when it comes to filmmaking. One just happens to be better.
And one has more creative control and doesn't pick Poirot as the the narrator.
One didn't make Artemis Fowl. It very much seems.
God, I feel like I want to revisit Artemis Fowl. Just see like I can't really remember the direction.
We could do it.
Yeah,
We could do it.
We could.
Episode 900, we go back.
What an arbitrary number.
We'll get there. We'll never stop. I'll be dead when this stops.
Carl, who would watch Death on the Nile?
I think this is like you are going to enjoy this if you love like an NCIS
Oh,
or a
is
CSI.
this is
or
a
something.
45-minute procedural stretched out to
Yeah.
2 hours and set in Egypt. Yeah.
Like I think if you love the more campy aspects of 40-minute procedurals on TV, the second half of this is basically one of those. It
is.
feels like there's a little cliffhanger where there would be an ad break, but it's not. Like it's faster paced the second half.
Yeah.
All the actors look like they're having fun. So it's it's an alright time. I think this comes on TV naturally. Oh, like if you're of that age demo where you still got free to air TV, ooh, you're gonna love this film.
Surely the podcast listeners are not that same. Maybe they are actually. you know?
Who knows? I would love a listener to be like, I don't know what free to air TV is.
I'm surprised I like this one more than the first. I feel like the first I was like, I feel like that was okay, and this was a bit silly. It's kind of reversed now, where I'm like, that is actually such a bland, mishandled story, and at least this one's having a bit of fun.
This one probably has a bit more style.
Yeah.
You know, in terms of it really embraces, like, I guess it's modernity of being faster paced, more silly, more grand. So, because the first one's very, like, it's cozy.
It's cozy.
Yeah.
Ah,
He just
God.
eats desserts.
God, it's a shame we didn't have that cast for this one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's an odd cast. Really odd cast.
Yeah.
What can you do?
I mean, I just hope for the best. You know, I think they're going to have a healthy future in Hollywood, huh? And I'm going to stand by that. This was recorded in 2020. So I stand by that.
Yeah, I'm sure all of these cast members are in movies coming out now. All of them.
Carl, what are we doing next week?
We're doing Jupiter Ascending.
Ooh, we got a little email. Again, askwwtpodcast@gmail.com. You can recommend any movie to us and we'll watch it.
Yeah, that's right. We're sluts for an email.
God, we love a little email.
Yeah.
So Jupiter Ascending is what we're doing. The Wachowski sisters classic.
Yeah, I think people love Mila Kunis in a big blockbuster, right?
I think so.
I feel like she's had an interesting career. Being in like Oz the Great and Powerful and Jupiter Ascending. It's like interesting.
And then 20 years of Meg.
Yeah, so much Meg.
Yeah.
Not the Meg, Meg the character.
Yeah, true.
I would love Meg v Meg.
She was I feel like when romantic comedies were sort of happening, she had a couple of those.
Absolutely. I really like Mila Kunis.
Yeah.
I think she's fun in things.
I think so.
But it was just odd that they were like, you are a leader of a blockbuster film.
Yeah.
Like, we'll hinge $250 million on the back of you.
Man, it cost that much, did it?
Jupiter Ascending,
Yeah.
maybe more.
Goodness. Channing Tatum has little ears, I remember.
Yeah, it does. And Eddie Redmayne's also whispering a lot.
And they shout sometimes.
He does.
They
He
whispers.
loves to whisper and shout.
my God.
That is acting! That's him.
He
Nailed
was the
him.
Danish girl. Won an Oscar for that, huh?
Oh, God.
Did he win an Oscar? Oh, Theory of Everything.
Theory of Everything, where he also whispered and shouted, "The theory is everything!"
Where's he been, huh?
Eddie,
Yeah.
Fantastic Beasts,
Oh, yeah, true. Fuck.
and
Where to find him?
yeah, what else did he do? He did that Trial of Chicago 7. Seen something else recently?
Yeah, we probably should end it. We're an hour.
No, let's just name Eddie Redmayne
All right,
films
rattle
now.
me off then.
The ones I just said.
Danish girl? I think we didn't
Yeah,
say
we
that
said
one.
Danish Girl.
Okay, we said.
Remember that weekend away where we all just sort of watched half of the Danish Girl over
You
the
say
3 nights?
all of us. You sat down.
No.
Played
No.
the Danish girl for 20 minutes, then turn it off. Then the next morning we woke up and you were then
No,
you
your
started
partner-
watching.
your-
No. You started watching the Danish girl, and we were like, "Why are you watching this?" You're like, listen, I might just finish it. You were alone. No one else was prompting you, and no one else has watched the Danish girl.
Your partner was pretty into the Danish
She
Girl.
was not.
She was.
She was not.
She was like,
She was
I've-
adamant. She,
she
was,
was-
like, I don't want to watch the Danish girl. I never want to watch the Danish girl. And you were like, I remember you waking up like, I might just finish it. I feel like I'm 40 minutes in. Why wouldn't I just finish
I wanted
it?
to see whether he got with Ben Whishaw.
Did she? Did he?
And I didn't finish.
All right. Goodbye. Thank you for listening.